One of the most reviewed and most reviled rock phenomenon of recent weeks. We got a few votes. Sex Pistols, you can hear them warming up in the background even now. 1976, June, Sex Pistols concert, the first outside London. The city was in a state of spin and has been ever since.
It's pathetic that people think London is the capital of Britain, because creatively it's not, and it hasn't been.
It's the outsiders really who are misunderstanding the new Manchester scene. Spirals, Stone Roses, Happy Mondays, pillage and plunder from lots of different musical styles.
I don't want to warm up for the Rolling Stones in 1989. I think we could be the biggest band ever.
Happy Mondays have offered an alternative to Curiosity Killed the Cat.
50,000 shirts printed, packaged and sold with the name in spiral carpets.
This is fashion, this is 90s. Yeah. This is Joe Blow, this is Manchester.
Anybody that wants to shout, keep banging them at 10 o'clock.
One or two of these parties have actually been held in my constituency, Ribble Valley.
We're locked in our own homes.
The bands and the fans and the press have formed a kind of unholy alliance, a triangle, feeding off each other. The Manchester thing's been growing. You can't ever say that it went away. Between punk and now, the two sort of outbursts of Manchester activity, you've had New Order and the Smiths, who are probably the two most important British rock bands of the 80s, so it's never been away.
You don't see everyone else around the country walking around in flares. They do in Manchester, and they do because it gets up the nose of people, and that's what it's all about ultimately. Getting up the nose of people is a lot to do with the Mancunian music scene.
It's sort of a really sort of Thatcherite thing. Thatcher scared everybody to death and they all got off the bottoms and started to do something quick before they took the dole off them, you know.
The Beatles have been from Manchester and they've made a load of money out of a scene that came out of Manchester and then had pissed off to London and spent it all in Savile Row building Apple down there. They won't be very popular here. In Liverpool, everyone thinks that's great, you know. Yeah, you make it, you go to London. And I think the difference it makes to Manchester, 10cc, for example, they make a load of cash. They built Strawberry Studios in the early 70s, so that when we come, Factory comes on stream as a record company, we have an international recording facility just around the corner from us. Similarly, then, New Order make a whole pile of money, and they're able to, together with other people, they're able to build the Hacienda, which is so vital to what's happened in the second half of the 80s in this town. More recently, to build Dry, the bar, so people have a bar they can go to.
Let's get the terminology right. As of the Daily Mirror, blinding, salty, top one, kicking, Renee. Here we go. Let's go. No name outside, it's supposed to be Dry, Factory. This is it. If Manchester's the hippest place in the world, and presumably this is the hippest bar in the world.
What a
nice bit of
wonderful
austerity chic, Dry.
Joe, what do you want to drink?
Jack Daniels, please. This is a Dry chair. Direct it looks from the schoolrooms of Timișoara in Romania, and it reflects the architecture and style, really, of the whole bar, which is done in the sort of post-war, Eastern European, rather breezy style, typically factory, rather the tongues in the cheek, I think. Girders, isolated pieces of glass, random blocks of colour, old telegraph poles, lots of slate, lots of clean surfaces.
Basically, it looks like a bar, doesn't it? It looks like an old barn. Anyway, look, this is... Not only have they got their own designer beer mats, they've probably got their own designer toilet paper, so we head down there, we'll probably find out there.
Get a picture of that.
Here we are in the toilets, and as you can see, they're spacious enough for any budding Mancunian songwriters to come and experience their first angst-ridden moments down here.
Witty use of a red girder up there. See that? Oh,
there you go. A shirt's just gonna have a piss now. You probably shouldn't do that, Pete. You might get arrested.
All the hype and all this Manchester scene's got a lot of papers and magazines and all sorts coming down as if it was Liverpool when the Beatles were there, and like anyone who whistles in the bathrooms, sign them up. I'm the only one out of the band who does work, and it helps us as well because obviously the practice is where we go. We've got to move all the equipment, so with me working, I also get use of my van, which transports us about. We've just gone straight from a practice room to our first gig at the Boardwalk, sold that out, I've been done the free trade all in Manchester back in the Happy Mondays. By the 10th gig, we'd been signed up. mixes really fast.
At first, everybody just like blanks you and just laughs at you, don't they? But it's a bit different now. But I've always had the backing. They've been right. Everyone's been behind us. We're getting compared to bands that have been going for 7 years, and it's nice, but it's not fair.
Around where I live, it's just a miners' estate. Like years ago, it was just only miners lived on it, and then it turned council. It's not rough, it's just scruffy really. But it's alright, everywhere scruffy down that way, isn't it? But it's good.
It's the same all over for working class lads. I don't know why it's happened here. I don't know why it's happened the way it has. It's just been blew up. Media. 2 years ago, everyone was football mad and it was all hooliganism and everything, but everything's different now. It's more relaxed. It's a lot easier and it's the way it should be. It's just in you don't realise it. Just grew up with it. And it just comes out in your music. My Rising Star in the practice, we was only at it for about a week or something. We were just still experimenting with it. But like I said, it was a new tune and we was bored with all the others. Not bored, but had enough of doing them, so we just thought we'd do that. It was the first love song we've wrote in it. Just a change from what we've been writing before. It's just entirely different.
We started freaky dancing in the summer of '89. We'd been going to the Hacienda then for years and years, but we'd experienced like the house sensation that had been going on there for the past 12 months. Around about June, we thought we've got to do something about this. And a lot of the guys who were involved had sort of comic arts experience and like had access to photocopiers and printers and everything. And we decided we'd just print it off, and because it was such a community happy feeling that was inside there, we thought, well, we can't charge people for it. We can't like put it into shops. What we'll do is we'll just make it ourselves, give it out for free. We just basically wanted to reflect what was going on at that time, which was a real summer of love, that everybody was friendly, everybody was nice and happy. Happy baby.
The fact there's a buoyant club scene in the town centre means that Manchester will breed a certain kind of fusion of what music is naturally coming from there. plus dance music, because that's the essence of clubs.
House music was a minority dance music out of Chicago and later Detroit in the States that started servicing in the early 80s, maybe 82, 83 were the first real imports of that kind of music. It was stripped down music, stripped to the bone, more rhythm track than anything else. The occasional lyric, but the rhythm track and the bass line was everything.
Everyone's got their local where they just go and they, you know, they drink and dance, or their friends go. And it happens at the Hacienda, it plays house music and dance music, and has been doing for 2 or 3 years. And we like to go there, and we, you know, I think they contribute a lot to the energy of that club and how it is now.
This is the Hacienda. You know, it may not look much, but it is the cathedral to house music in Britain. Life-size picture of Tony Wilson's head inside there. This is what rocking gas. This is the gateway to the dance floor.
There probably is twice as many men as there are women, but you don't tend to notice it the same because everyone's dressed brightly, you know what I mean? And I think the great thing is that the podiums that you can climb onto that holds sort of like, say, 10, 12 people, and the stage that holds possibly like 100. And everyone's chanting to each other, and everyone's arms are going out to each other in time. Everyone dances in time, everyone moves in time to the music.
Wacky guy.
I think it's a combination of an explosion of musical style and self-marketing. I mean, it has radio stations, it has the press, it has a TV station, it has all of these things with which to express itself, where a lot of other cities don't. And I think there's a great entrepreneurial skill that comes from Manchester.
Fashion from 1985 onwards just declined. It was sombre, serious, very snobbish, and then Acid House came along and just tore it all to pieces, really. You couldn't go out dancing in a Yohji Yamamoto suit because you'd wreck it. Certain people in Manchester dressing the kids up they're dressing kids up as hippies. I think it's okay taking snippets of ideas from the past, but not a total look. And I think we all hated hippies the first time around, and we hate them this time as well.
Groups like Happy Mondays and Spiral Carpets and all these kind of groups that have, you know, progressed in England and now have become, you know, world-renowned, came to ourselves, wanted to wear our merchandise, were wearing our merchandise, wanted to be associated with Joe Bloggs because they felt their music was actually associated with our type of clothing. And it was street clothing and they were street music. So because of the street clothing, street music all came together, and it really blossomed to a fantastic and phenomenal rate for them, for ourselves, and it's been hand in hand. And I think it's really helped for both parties. The ventilation, Gene?
It's good. It's just a little bit different, very different market.
Correct. 4 years ago we had the big, enormous jeans, and those jeans to this very day have become bigger and bigger and bigger. Bigger in the sense that we've got now 25-inch flared jeans, we've got 30-inch baggy jeans, 30-inch jeans which are the widest jeans in the world, the 25-inch bottom flares which were the widest flares in England, all created from Manchester. While, what's the reaction been? I think now Manchester is becoming recognised as a fashion centre, a music centre. People are coming, travelling in coach loads. You find companies, you find music managers looking for groups in and around the Manchester area. So I think it's been a fantastic and phenomenal progression. We feel Joe Bloggs is a strong brand and should be profiled in this category. Whenever you see a garment, even if it's be a Joe Bloggs jean, you can have this garment today, you can have this garment tomorrow. You don't have to wait months and months for a design. You don't have to keep looking at a catwalk and seeing designs like this, which are fantastic and bright, and then you've got to wait 6 months for design. That's out. We don't believe in that kind of concept. It's fast, it's speed, it's efficient.
It amazes me through mail order and the people that come and shop here how people want to wear Manchester shirts who live in Cornwall and Edinburgh, you know, and things like that. When the Manchester Euphoria started about 2-3 years ago, and it was fused with all musical, fashion, Affleck's Palace, you know, which is like people come from all over the country to shop here and see the place. When the fusion came, we was looking for the ultimate statement. And on the 6th day, God created man. Chester. When they say God rested on the 7th day, I think that's what they think everybody else should do, you know. But my feelings about that is, especially because I believe Jesus was one of the first ravers, or the original James Dean, you know, especially a young guy, you know, I mean, he had a posse of 12 men. He used to go into towns in biblical times, and he'd gather crowds, and generally his attitude was, you know, just let's everybody get it together and everything, and they crucified him for it. So I feel this is what Jesus would have said.
Shall we take a trip?
Because ecstasy is expensive, what I noticed recently was that a lot of young people actually use LSD. Because, I mean, it costs £5 and you share it with a friend. So for £2.50, you know, you're having like a laugh all night.
When you take ecstasy, just puts you in a state of mind where if you wear something tight, it just makes you feel uncomfortable. That is the reason for the loose-fitting clothes. If people were honest about it.
Basically, rock bands took on the dance music. The catalyst for that was the drug ecstasy. I mean, I've got no doubt about that. E has one amazing property. It can make people who wouldn't normally want to do so dance. It can make white men dance.
Let's rock!
Set up about 5 years ago. Me, Pat and Karen. We'd mainly do record covers and t-shirts. Like with Happy Mondays and everything, we've created a style that everybody associates with and everything. And we don't paint, basically, because we can't paint. And you know, like, I can't even draw, you know what I mean? And Pat can't draw. Well, there's no great theory about it, it's just like, comes natural, isn't it?
That painting's an historical record.
Like, all the pictures that are up and everything are from when we used to collect football cards.
They're cards that our Pete collected. Our Byrne was a mad Beatles fan. She saw the Beatles in Liverpool. You know, one of them screaming, fainting concerts. That box was in the loft. Like, everyone used to put stuff in it, you know what I mean? Most people have just been. We keep everything.
I know that we've done enough stuff now that I can go to bed and like go 6 feet under, and like at the end of the day, like I'm happy with it, because like I've put across a lot of things out of my head that are gonna be in people's houses for like 30 years or whatever.
You have images, don't you? You've had dreams and all that. Dreams, if you can put dreams down on paper.
Okay, welcome to this week's show. Just kicking off 9:05. This week we've got something special for your listeners out there. KFM up there in Stockport. You've got your old Sunset Radio as well.
Yes, and Tunes is going to be out and about, people, checking out some of the various parties going on in Manchester. This is 808 State and myself, MC Tunes, doing our weekly thing for Sunset Radio Manchester. The good thing is people have been partying all over and picking up on our show. And tonight we'll be going out to various homes, checking out what's going on.
I mean, there's people who write in and say they have parties in the front room. They switch the stereo on. This is a Tuesday night, remember, 9 till 12. No clubs are open. Nobody's got nothing to do. If you go to school, if you work, you're doing nothing Tuesday night. It is the dead night of the week. We're on 9 till 12. You can't resist putting 808 State on, even for a laugh, if you don't like dance music.
I started doing like the jingles, you know, 808 State, yeah, it is to devastate, combinate, captivate, and create in bulk. I started doing all that, and the people kind of got into my voice, and 808 State just decided to have me as one of the presenters. Do all the chatter, they play the platter, I do the chatter. Simple, sweet as. The boys at my place, get ready for it. We're gonna come on a big stampede of Manchester, yeah? Yes! I mean, I was a pretty bad boy. And when I decided to stop, that is when I started. And a lot of people have done that. A lot of the young people have done that. And that is why there's so much talent now. You know what I mean? So many people making a breakthrough.
The microphone there, science donkey. We've got the...
Mancunians have got a like original way of speaking, you know what I mean? We've got things like, you know what I mean, nish, clish, and bang. Nish means nothing, clish means nothing, and banging means does that tune bang, or is that tune banging, or what is a banging tune? Do you know what I mean?
Yo, people, what's happening? Everybody here wants to say hello. Make some noise.
You know, youngsters deciding to have a party when they feel like having a party. I mean, people having a good time and having a dance. There's never any grievance caused unless these people provoking it. There's an interesting craze going on at the moment. It's the Blackburn craze, yeah? And it's like, in a way, it's unique because it's like the first time independent people have been able to get it on, you know, get mass parties on. And all this jive about Blackburn being violent and full of drugs. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not like that. It's a bunch of people getting sweaty in a club to a tune. And that, you know, there's basically never violence unless violence is provoked. And usually the authority is provoking. Do you know what I mean?
Hey, DJ, where's the bass?
The trouble with the licensing laws in this country, you get to 2 o'clock and everybody was like, yeah, this is absolutely brilliant, like, let's carry on. Oh no, I'm sorry, you can't. So it was fulfilling a need for people.
People would meet on the pub car park, or people would like go to a garage, or even the Kentucky Fried Chicken between Blackburn and Preston, and people would just get to hear about it and all pile up there, and by 2 o'clock in the morning there's sort of 6,000 people.
There's a lot of disused factories in Blackburn because all the mills are shut down and that. The atmosphere at the Warehouse Raves is so similar to the Hacienda, which is why the Hacienda is so good, because rather than being in some squatty little nightclub, which is like with a low ceiling, which is like what most nightclubs are like, it was like being in an aircraft angle.
Hey, DJ, where's the bass?
This is Affleck's Palace, which is the place to hang out in Manchester. This in particular is Eastern Bloc Records, home of the hits. Wheelbar Records, where people like in spiral carpets. Happy Mondays, the Magic Street Fee.
The Stone Roses.
Yeah.
And we come down here, 828 State.
And these are the kind of people to blame if you're fed up to the backseat of hearing that Manchester's a hit place and a happy place. Or rather, in some ways, it's our fault as well, because people working for publications like ours have bummed them up rather in the last few months. And is it that great? Well, yeah, it is really. What about you?
I don't know, I just think they're a bunch of northern scumbags. Badly dressed, bad haircuts.
I'd been a sort of frustrated muso years ago and I wanted to make records, basically. But it's a very expensive pastime, so you've got to have something to pay for it. So I decided to open a record shop in Manchester.
It started through Eastern Bloc Record Shop. There was a few groups in Manchester when Eastern Bloc first opened, taking in tapes in there.
I mean, we sort of financed in spiral carpets from the shop. We financed 828 State. We financed Gerald for a while.
The 808 sound is to do with, like, not having any real instruments in it, hardly at all. You know, it's complete machine sound.
You know, we actually took our name from their best-selling drum machine, Roland drum machine.
Basically, these machines allowed us to make black music for the first time, you know, not having a natural sense of rhythm or anything. You know, basically, with a drum machine, you can get funky straight away.
Nicholas Lockett, alias MC Tunes, joined the band in 84, 85, when me and Andrew used to play around with some stuff. He was shelved for quite a while 808 State was maturing. Recently we was in the studio putting the basis to a track. Tunes came in and said, I am rapping on this track. Went in the studio, rapped on it. And now that tune is called The Only Rhyme That Bites.
The only rhyme that bites, the fact will I attack the mic. Demon rhymes like a script from Fright Night. Move like a poet, design like a sculpture. Call from steel, constructing my culture. Sticking my clip, automatic, fully loaded. Lyrics that let that beat my component. Put together like a 7-foot sledgehammer. Rock the 24 track like a death hammer. Now I'm equipped to up to the front seat. And see my limits with a rhyme and a firm belief that I'm unstoppable to comes up like cannibals. So like what I say, fools to me for liable. And step it up to a castle like a stallion. My boy Sally, Manchester's battalion. Now you heard, the not that it's tight. The drums rumble and you know the rhyme bites. The only rhyme that bites. The only rhyme that bites.
You know, some people tried to put a label on the group on Happy Mondays as an acid house rock band. You know, whatever the hell that's supposed to be.
30 shitbag years. Nathan tries to get out before me. He'll be women and children first. I put my wig on and that.
Happy Mondays have been together for 8 years. Not one single band member has left since they've joined.
Oh, bloody hell. Put me head, pal. Good night. He loves it. He loves it.
We're driven overnight from Lyon to Paris. And also driven overnight from Barcelona to Lyon the night before that. I mean, you sleep on the bus, we've got our beds, you see, and with double covers, and you draw your little curtains in your own little hidey hole, it's nice. You've got 16 people on one bus for 2 weeks, you're going to get tension, but if everybody stays cool, which they do, then it works out.
2 eggs, please. I want tea. Good eyes. You've got 10 bob eyes. You can't help it. Get them eggs on there.
Some bands can happen overnight, and it's okay, but it takes a group a long time to develop, and it's just much stronger. I mean, I think they'll go a long way because of that residual strength they've got as a band and how tight they are. Very tight.
Okay, here we are in Amsterdam, the drugs capital of Europe. I've left Stuart behind in Dry. He was so fascinated with the furniture, we decided to leave him there. Over there, in that Gothic building, is where Happy Mondays are staying. And later on, if we're lucky and decided to do it, in this building, the Paradiso, a converted church, they'll be playing. So we'll have to have a look and see exactly how many Mancs have followed them here.
Dance music is for the people.
It's for anybody.
Uh-huh.
It's for anybody.
And anybody can make it too.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
With the groovy sound like the Happy Mondays, people tend to forget about the lyrics. So does the band, I heard. Is it important to sing about anything?
No, not really. I mean, even one of our songs is took a big chunk out of it, a nursery rhyme. You know, if the nursery rhyme, if I could have fit all the words to the nursery rhyme in the song, I'd have probably sung them.
I think they just like get in their rehearsal room, get together and they play, and just ideas come out and they hold them and develop them. And Sean will, you know, get his ideas, his stories together for the songs. That's how it works. It's not like a guitarist and a singer. It's eclectic.
Keep it halfway down from what you have. Don't freak out halfway. No, because that's all it was, arse and fucking noise. No, we're not doing fucking Stonehenge.
Bass is at the bottom of the rig when people put it in.
Yeah, but ours it was when it came in, it was a bass guy. What? Maybe for me. I mean, secret sauce, I can't tell you that your fucking bass is too loud. That's all, your bass was a little bit too loud, sweet.
I come from Holland, the north of Holland, Friesland. And I know the Manchester bands, this means not the football club, but it means the Manchester bands. Like New Order, Revenge, Stone Roses, Happy Mondays.
I came from Rotterdam, I heard about this concert. For me, it fulfills the real dream because I waited over a year for this.
When I was growing up, the bands that came through that 60s musical scene from Manchester were always famous for the sort of happy ones, the ones that on Top of the Pops found the camera and grinned. Freddie the Dreamers, Herman's Hermits, the Hollies, they were always, you know, the happy ones when came from Manchester. And now, Top of the Pops, you can always tell who's the Manchester band on Top of the Pops because they're the most dour act on the show. They're the ones that take it sort of the most either seriously or the least seriously, but certainly don't look as if they're enjoying themselves.
All right, so take the look now and hold it for about half a minute while we do this business.
Every minute of my spare time has been aimed at music, and they start thinking, you know, is our lad wasting his time? And I think my family started to realise that I'm not wasting my time. And I think they're quite proud of what we have achieved, really, over the, you know, especially over recent months.
I think we've always had our own sort of individual sound, and even if there wasn't like this Manchester business going on at the moment, it wouldn't make any difference to us, because I still think we'd be where we are now.
Okay, playback.
We're making a video for our single, This Is How It Feels. So we've just got a whole team up here of camera crews and people doing makeup, people sort of with props and things like that. So we're just putting it together, really.
We'll be shooting until about 10 or 11 tonight, and I mean, if it develops into a blizzard, that's better for us. You know, that's what we want. We want real extreme, and we pride ourselves in the fact that we can do that.
She can't say, they can't see, putting it down to another bad day. So this is how it feels to be lonely.
Now, if you're the kind of socially inadequate who spends the time reading the music press, you might be getting sick and tired of this kind of thing. Mancunians splashed all over the front covers of the music papers. Of course, the allegation is that the Mancunian scene is a complete creation of the addled brains that run things like this, the New Musical Express. And there's a grain of truth in that. It may be correct that we have gone a little bit bonkers, shall we say, over the Manchester bands, but then that is the role of the music press, isn't it, to go bonkers over certain things that come our way. Now, if you come this way, Stone Roses on the cover, Stone Roses on the cover again, Spiral Carpet's on the cover, so maybe there is some truth in these allegations that, you know, like Skiffle and the New Romantic movement before, that we are creating something where it isn't really there. But, well, let's have a see. Here are some people deliberating about what goes on our cover.
Well, this is the initial deliberation. This is what we're thinking about, Stuart.
Yeah?
What do you reckon?
I reckon it's top. Yeah. And nice one.
You think the E is big enough to get the message home?
Well, what message would that be, I think?
It's in the chart. We think maybe it's into an E. What was the other one we had?
Sean to be wild. Sean to be wild.
Yeah. We've got other ones. Now that's the one for strange people in the street.
Well, Bez looks suitably manic there,
Would
doesn't
you
he?
buy this paper, though? That's the question you have to ask yourself.
Yeah.
Small children frightened.
Yeah.
My only reservation about that one is literally whether you can recognise Sean Ryder, because he's got those sunglasses on.
You can
But
recognise
with the
him.
words Sean Ryder underneath...
And a big arrow pointing at his face.
And with a big letter E, I think it's fairly obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is fairly recognisable. The shades do make him look a little bit Tom Cruise.
All right, people. Right, here we are. Okay, we're in Sam Studios. Right, you're about to get some rare footage of MC Tunes, king-kicking thing in the area. Right, I'm gonna fly up here. Studio. This is like a big multi-complex, and we're like in Hammersmith in London somewhere, just off Portobello Road. What we're doing today is that we're doing a mix of one of the tracks for the album, which is A Day in the Life of a Heroin Addict, which is written to commemorate and dedicate to my uncle, who passed away a short while back. We're heading into the studio now. This is just like, it's like a complex. There's like a few rooms in there, and like, you know, the studios just get bigger in this place. Yeah, here we are. Check it out. The thing, this is the engineer. He's doing his bit. We've got everything ready, and I'm ready to pump some lyrics. You see, when I came down here, what I did is I just walked into the studio. I said, right, here I am. You want to sign me up? Ah! like that, you see, and I rapped at them, and that's when the deal was signed. And they all love me down here. All the women are mad for me. All the women are mad for me down here. So, this is where I live. This is where I work. This is my life. And these are my rhymes. So check it out. I spent all last night sleeping on street corners. My head's aching and I'm shaking like I got pneumonia. I'm in debt. My last days was on sick. I've got a problem, can't see past my next fix. I'm 18, got my head in a guillotine. 0 prospects, but that don't mean nothing. 8 stone 3, my own worst enemy. I have no woman and my family disown me. I'll make some money before my last curtain. I need it fast to stop my whole body hurting. I'll take a walk to see what play I can stalk. I feel sick, like I ate a pound of raw pork. Can't see past my next fix. Can't see past my next fix. I clock a Benz, briefcase, suit, and businessman. I see no wallet but a diamond ring on left hand. I grip a stick but my hand's still trembling. It's too hard, I'll take him out with one swing. I lack strength, I couldn't knock the fucker out. He kept screaming as the blood entered in his mouth. Then he was still, silence, no body movement. I felt a chill but my feelings were irrelevant. No remorse for the victim, no compromise. I came in quick but the pain just intensified. I reached the ditch, the hole I had quested for. The 12th floor with a steel-plated front door. Can't see past my next fix.
After school, I was doing dance music, and he was just rapping in Market Street. He got his act together. He knew Gerald Simpson, a guy called Gerald, from a long time ago. He got involved with him. He used to go up in Jed's attic and make tunes, rap all night with the Rap Assassins. Me and Andy used to go down there, and it was like a communal meeting place, Gerald's attic bedroom.
I've lived in my side all my life. I was living in the flats there, and there was nowhere to like play apart from like on a croft. It'd be like either throwing stuff over the balcony, playing chicken on the motorway, or burning rubbish on the croft. I used to do a bit of DJing in the youth club in Rochelle. And I started listening to the music of Detroit, which has been a really strong influence.
We are in Detroit, Michigan, and my name is Derek May.
I went over to Detroit to do a mix with Derek May on Automatic, because I thought he'd be the best person, because he's been an influence for 3 years now on the music that I make. So I thought it would be taking the cream to the cap, really.
It was once a big industrial city, and like I could see, you know, like the influences. So it's like a dance music, but it's like really electronically based.
Gerald is a really nice guy, and he had asked me if I could work on a few of his tracks for him. Just got in there, got a little funky, you know, just took off a few clothes and ended up stripping the whole song. Came out with a complete different woman, and I went in with. But it's almost like I just dug up a diamond, and it's really rough, you know, and I can't quite see myself ever taking this diamond and polishing it, because it's beautiful just the way it is. And I enjoy the fact that it's a rough, beautiful piece of artwork. You know, and that's the sort of music, that's the sort of feeling that I get from the music and from what we do. His music, I think, is the most important thing to him as it is to us. And it's strange that he fits into this area over here with us. Maybe it's the DNA in the water, I don't know. Here in Detroit, I can't say that when I look at a building, I want to cry and make a beautiful song, or I want to make an angry song. There are musicians that are influenced by what we're doing, you know, but overall, I don't think anybody over here gives a damn what the hell is going on Buku's side of the world, left or right. I mean, the brothers here are not even interested whatsoever with what somebody else is doing.
There's loads of barren sort of like empty space, and it was really harsh. It's like music with no distractions. There's loads of people been influenced by Derek May that I know. Like, there's no denying it. Like, dance music comes from America.
Here we are backstage at the GMX Festival, the GMX Centre. Happy Monday's finally made it back to Manchester, and tonight they'll play their biggest gig ever. Over the weekend, 18,000 people will see them, and I suppose this is Manchester's coming of age. This is Kevin Cummins.
Hello.
If you're interested, he took that picture, and that's our final cover. Best Enemy cover in years.
E for England.
E for Europe.
The Manchester music scene has had virtually no impact in the United States. So there was this, I had this awareness that something was going on, but I didn't know what, and a general feeling that the scene itself might be more interesting than a lot of the bands that make up the scene. I think the Happy Mondays, for instance, will seem very foreign to the United States because they're based so clearly in a culture that the United States does not know about and does not understand.
See you later on then, missus. See you later on, cocker.
In Manchester, the kids who listen to music are more into going to clubs rather than going to hear bands.
Let's go.
House music has had a much bigger impact in Manchester than it has in Los Angeles, which is strange because it came from Chicago and Detroit in the first place. But it's just, these kids have been listening to American music that hasn't had that big of an impact in America.
Change your desire, don't you know we can make you forget you're the man. You stand, catch a fire, change your desire, don't you know we can make you forget you're the man, you're the man. Speak so hip, man, twist him and better, twist it out. He's gonna waltz, he's gonna, we're gonna step on you.
I mean, how good these bands are in Manchester is hard to say at the moment. Ultimately, I suspect we'll remember about 5 records between the lot of them. But that's probably a better contribution than we remember from all the bands in 1990 who came out of London, frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the famous NME backlash. Well, scheduled time of arrival is any moment now in people's minds. You know, this notion that we build people up or build things up and then just smash them down. But I think that's an exaggerated notion now, but it doesn't happen like that.
Well, I know that there's a sort of backlash to come. I know sort of all the journalists out there, you know, will try to knock it down now. They build things up and try to knock it down, you know, and you know that's going to come next. And I mean, it sort of saddens me that you've not seen the true picture of what Manchester's really like, you know, and it's sort of been misrepresented, you know. It's been about scallies and flared jeans and things like that, which is not really what it's about at all. It's about the spirit of the people there.
What do you mean by that?
Well, sort of to be a northerner and to be a Mancunian, you know. It's something that's sort of inside you, it's sort of a broadness. It's sort of, you know, it's in the nature of the fighters. You won't just sort of lie down and take it, basically, you know. And it's a sort of fight back from the inner cities.